Back to the Thomas Gallery. Welcome back, everyone. And today is another cultural exposure video, and we're going to talk about families. Okay, now everybody has a family. Like they would say, you can pick your friends, but you can't pick your family, right? And then we're going to talk about families from different cultures. All right, everyone's family, for the most part, is the same. But there are some differences depending on where you're from and your particular background, your cultural background, but for the most part, everyone's the same. We all have that one relative that thinks they know everybody. You have that one relative that can fix everything. We got that one relative that just loves to be the center of attention. We all got that black sheep in our family. Everyone has that relative. We all have that one family fight. You know, we have the one who think they can cook everything, or the one who can actually cook everything. And we all have the comedian of the family. We have the cool uncle or the cool aunt. You know, we all have that cousin that was more like a sibling than a cousin. We're all the same. I've been around plenty of families from other lands, and the only difference is the language. Once you get past the language, you will see the exact same people in their family that you would see in your family. You know, one of my one of my old schoolmates, whose family was from the Caribbean, his father reminded me of one of my uncles. And like most families, it's a large family. I come from a very large family. My mother is one of 13 children. So there's a lot of aunts, a lot of uncles, and a whole lot of cousins. A whole lot of sleepovers, a whole lot of Thanksgiving running around. Well, for in America, Thanksgiving. But for other countries, other cultures, they may have their own celebration where they gather around and have a big feast. It's all the same thing. Some people call it Thanksgiving. There's other names for it, but there's always the big feast. Coming around to join as a family, as a unit, and it's we all the same. You have your old funny family stories about you hear stories from your aunts and uncles and your mother when they were little kids and how they used to play, and they did the same things that we did. And then you have the younger relatives that are like little children, and they do the same things that you used to do, and you tell them the same stories that your uncles and aunts told you. You would tell to your little cousins or your little siblings the stuff you used to do, like you're the old person in the family. You just right in the middle. So yeah, you have the times where you don't really see a person unless it's a wedding or a funeral or something like that. A long lost cousin who you ain't seen, who you haven't seen in I don't know how long. You know, the you got the flashy uncle who used to be the man back in the day when he was younger and still trying to relive those days. All the same stories, all the same stories. You know, and everybody. Well, if you have grandparents that are alive in your family, you have you know the grandma. My grandmother was different. My grandmother was funny. My grandmother was a gangster. I don't mean that in the negative sense. I mean that in the as a compliment, as someone who is honest and thorough. She would tell you straight up to your face about yourself. She don't mince words. She will let you know when you wrong, and she ain't gonna spare your feelings. Everybody who has grandparents that are alive got that. And there's always somebody in the family who has the same thing. I'm one of those blunt individuals. I can see myself when I get older. I'm gonna be that blunt grandfather. I'm gonna be that blunt elder who not gonna care about your feelings, who gonna tell you straight up. That's just I see that because I do that and I'm like that now, so I see that. You also see where a lot of the family traits and talents come from. Me being an artist, I found out that my grandmother was the artist in the family. She was the artist in the family. So a lot of my aunts and uncles had that artistic ability, and it was passed down to later generations where I inherited it, my brother, my cousins. So it's something passed down. We all have those idiosyncrasies from our relatives that passed that go down into your cousin or your brother, your sister, or may skip a generation go to the younger cousin. So it's all the same. You know, other than the language, and we all have the same conversations, just in different languages. The foods we eat may look different, but we all act the same way. We all gather around a table, laughing around, having a good time, kids running around. I know a lot of cultures where you have the adult table and you have the children's table. I found that that's the same thing in other cultures. We have the adults table and you have the children's table. You also have the elders table. So there's different levels. You got the children's table, you have the adult table, and you have the elders table. And as far as I can remember, every generation wants to go to the next level. Like the children always wanted to sit at the big table, and the adults always wanted to sit with the elders, and the older generation would never let the younger generation sit with them until they were a certain age. So I always wanted to sit with the adults because they said they always had the best conversations. Everybody they were all laughing, and the kids we wanted to know what they were laughing about. We didn't understand, so we wanted to be a part of the group. But they wouldn't let us be part of the group because a lot of conversations weren't kid friendly. I know that now because I have those conversations. So it's all the same. What we think we're different, but when you boil it all down, when you break it all down, we're not different at all. We may speak different languages, we may come from different climates, but when it comes down to the essential values of family and unity and community, we all strive for the same thing. We all want to achieve that oneness with family. You know, I always say blood don't make you family, it makes you related. Okay? And what that means is to be a family, that mean yes, you are tied family wise by blood. You are genetically connected. But the true essence of family is moving and acting as a unit, as a community. That your child is my child and my child is your child. Like I said, it takes a village to raise a child. That means that the entire community, whether it be immediate family or distant relatives, we all come together as a community. And through that community, we work together to progress the next generation. And in doing that, we will achieve a level of oneness, of unity within that family. It just so happens that the first community on the planet was the family, starting with the mother, father, and child. And you have the grandparents, and you have the aunts and uncles and the cousins. They are genetically linked by blood, by DNA. But the essence, the meaning of the community goes far beyond blood. But it starts with genetics and it goes outward. Alright? It starts inward, then it goes outward. See? So as much as we think we're different as a species, as a community, as a people, we're not. We act that way due to various differences, whether it be ideological, whether it be genetic. We tend to perpetuate those differences, and sometimes to the positive, and other times to the negative. Excuse me. But But despite the person's viewpoint, despite the person's background, all humans, all creatures, actually, want the same thing: a sense of community, a sense of family, a sense of linking together. And when you think eco as an ecosystem over ego system, remember, ecosystem is greater than ego system. Okay, eco, ECO system is greater than EGO system. All right, and when that concept is really lived out, despite your culture, if you go to another culture, you will be exposed to the same things that you long for, that you want, that you see in your family. All right? Peace.